Hello and welcome to another video with me, Neil, from the Greenlight Trust. It's another cooking video we have for you today, and today we're going to be making quesadillas, which to me is kind of like a bit of a pizzeria type thing. So what I've done is I've chopped up some red onion. We're also going to need our friend's salt and pepper, a bit of olive oil for the pan. We've got some grated cheddar cheese, but you can use any cheese that you want to. We've also got some sweet corn, some black beans, and some smoked paprika as well, and some tortilla wraps, which we're going to use for those. So the first thing we need to do is turn on our gas. That's on. Quite a high heat for that. And what we're going to do is we're going to just fry off our red onion first. So we're going to pop that in the pan. And I always like to put a little bit of salt and pepper on that just to sort of start it off. So this dish again is a vegetarian version, but the great thing with the quesadilla, as you'll see, is you can put pretty much anything you want in there. Another veggie one I like doing is putting courgettes or squashes in there, tomatoes. You can put meat in there if you want. You can put chicken, bacon, whatever you wanted. But again, as we're trying to be a bit more environmentally friendly here at the Greenlight Trust, we've gone for a vegetarian version. So the onions, as you can hear now, just starting to fry. I normally like to fry them for a couple of minutes, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to drain off the water from the tins of my sweet corn and black beans. So once I've done that, we'll come back and see how we're getting on. So now our onions have started to brown off nicely there. That's literally been about 2-3 minutes in the pan. And I've drained the water from my black beans and sweet corn. Black beans are possibly one of the best beans for protein. Something that I know meat eaters have sort of said to me is, you know, you get a lot of protein from your meat, and how can we get that from a vegetarian diet? Beans are a great way of getting protein into you, and black beans are some of the best. So we're just going to add our tin of black beans, and we're going to add our tin of sweet corn. Now these don't need cooking for very long. It's really sort of just to warm them through with the onion. So we just give that a little mix. And again, we're then going to put in a little bit of salt and pepper. So again, this is another one of those recipes that's really quick, really good for you. It takes 10 minutes, if that, to put this together. So we put in a little bit of salt and pepper, and then the next ingredient that we need is our smoked paprika, which I absolutely love this spice. It gives a sort of barbecue flavour to the food. So I know I'm looking forward to summer and some barbecues again, but when it's cold and a bit wintry, it's still nice to have that barbecue flavour. So a couple of teaspoons, or just do it how I just did it, which is just throw in how much you want. Again, you can sub out all of these different things. You can use kidney beans if you wanted to for this recipe. You could use peas rather than sweet corn, and you could put any other sort of spices you want in there, really. So you could put some chili flakes in there if you want it with a bit of heat. You could put some curry powder in there if you want a sort of a curry flavour quesadilla as well. So really, as I say, the great thing about this is whatever you've got in your cupboard and you have access to, you can pretty much put this in. So we've cooked this down a little bit. And already you can really smell that barbecue flavour from that smoked paprika. It's really, really nice. Now we're going to do this all in the same pan. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to transfer the contents of the frying pan just into a small bowl, and then I'm going to give that a little wash out, ready for the next step, putting it all together and getting our cheese in there. So what I've done is I've just emptied my sweet corn, black bean and onion mix into a little bowl there. and I've given the pan that I was using before, just washed that out, ready for the next step. So the next bit we're going to do is, there's no heat on at the moment, I'm just going to lay one of our tortillas into the pan like that. And this is the best bit, which is loads of cheddar. So again, you can put in whatever cheese you like and however much you like. I like a lot of cheese, so I'm going to put quite a bit in there. So a bit like a pizza, you're covering the base of the tortilla with some cheese. And then what we're going to do is, our bean mix is still warm, so we're going to put our heat on. Now, as you probably saw, the pan has no oil in it. It's what you call a dry pan, because what I'm wanting is just the heat from the pan to crisp up the tortilla and to melt the cheese a little bit as well. So we've just got the heat going on that. And you've really got to keep your eye on this as well, because if you leave it in too long, obviously that's going to burn quite quickly. And what we're going to then do is just put some spoonful or so, again, however much you want, onto our tortilla like that. Put a little bit more in there. There we go. So you can make several portions out of this amount. So that's going to start to get the heat on it, and then what you can do, you should probably actually use a tool, let's be safe, is just turn the edge over, and that's not crisp yet, so that's just going to take a couple of minutes for that to crisp up. And then, a bit like an omelette, we're going to roll that bit across and then flip it over so it's cooked on both sides. I should probably get a plate out as well, because I do plan on eating this after I've cooked it. So I'll turn the heat up a little bit. Again, use a little tool, watch your fingers when you're doing this. Now you can hear possibly that little starting to get a bit crispier, and you can see just around these edges here the cheese is starting to melt with the heat coming through. So what I'm going to do now, it's a bit like an omelette, I'm going to fold that half across over the top, give it a little push down like that, and then that's just going to cook on that side a little bit more. You can, however you want to do this, whatever's going to be easiest for you, you can either flip it over using your spatula or a fish slice, which is one of these, or you could always put your plate over the top of it, turn it out onto the plate to get it out, whatever you feel comfortable doing. I'm going to risk it. It's probably all going to go terribly wrong, and I'm going to flip this like a pancake. Whee. So then you can see you've got that nicely toasted tortilla there. So again, just another minute on the other side, 30 seconds. You can then slice it into sort of wedges if you want, or eat it however you want. But that's pretty much done. So gas off. I'm going to slide that out of our pan. There we go. A couple of bits have fallen out. Let's make sure we get them on the plate. And there we go. So that is my black bean, onion, smoked paprika and sweet corn quesadilla. Ready to eat in about 10 minutes. Really simple, really easy, good for the environment. Thank you for watching, and keep following us at the Greenlight Trust.